there, my name is Jane Shine with PositivelyJane.net. Recently I posted a craft room organization and tour on YouTube, and I mentioned that I use Evernote to keep track of all my crafting supplies, and I had quite a flurry of activity and questions about how I use Evernote, so I thought I would give this a go for you all. I am not an Evernote expert, I am not a computer expert, and I'm a terrible typist, so bear with me. First thing you want to do is go to evernote.com and you want to sign up for free. I then upgraded to the paid plan because that way it links on all my devices, my computer, my phone, and my iPad, so it doesn't matter where I am, I can look up and I can see if I have a particular stamp or die or whatever I have. So because I have a Mac, I put the Evernote in my dock here, so I use it all the time. I click on the elephant and this is what appears. So in my Evernote, I have what are called notebooks, and I have different notebooks. And we're going to focus on the die notebook today and the stamp notebook today. So underneath dies, I have quite a few folders. So I like to look upon dies as a notebook, big, huge 3-ring binder, and within that binder, I have all of these tabs with all of these different things filed. And in stamps, I did not detail it as much. I have a broad category called stamps and a few things, background stamps. See, if you click here, it says background stamps here. If I click here, it says large stamp sets filed in 6x8 container because I don't have a very good memory. I have to write down where everything is. Paper tray ink, they're in here, miscellaneous. We're going to go back to stamps. So in stamps, I created one called Stamp Tutorial, and we are going to delete that because I'm thinking I don't want that anymore. I'm going to right-click that, and I'm going to delete that note. And within stamps, I have every single stamp that I own, stamp set that I own is in here. And I have it by company, the name of the stamp, where it's filed, and a picture of the stamp. And I will show you how to do that. Here's another one. Jingle All the Way, Stampin' Up. Little Darlings, handpicked for Hedgie. It is filed in miscellaneous. And what I do, let me just go Cape Cuties. I love these guys. Clearly Besotted, Cape Cuties. It's filed in miscellaneous. I have a miscellaneous stamp category. And you have to figure out how you want to categorize them. I have them like hearts and circles and rectangles and sentiment dies. Those things are all separated. Then the rest are separated by company, like Lawn Fawn, Mama Elephant. In my stamps, I do sentiments only. That's a die a stamp that only has sentiments on it. I have large sentiments, meaning that it's in a different folder, different area, storage area. I have flowers. I have fall and Halloween. I have Christmas and winter. I have, I can't even tell you right now, but they're all filed in different things. So I need to know where it is. I'm like, where did I put that stamp set when you have so many? And so how does Evernote know what I have? Well, in here, I have, let's pick an easier one. Okay, so right, you see these are called tags. Follow my cursor. And I type in everything that has to do with this stamp set. I type in the sentiment because it says daughter right here, and every sentiment I put a period ahead of it. That way I know it's a sentiment. It says happy birthday, have a super birthday, lean on me, sun. There's animals in here. It's a birthday stamp. Cape Cuties, because that's what it's called. There's a cityscape in there. You never know when you're looking for one. Clearly Besotted, daughter, son, superheroes. That's how I do it. So let me just start a new one for you. So I created what's called, let's just start all over again. We're going to delete that, and we're going to make you a new one. So in here, we have what are called notebooks, and within each notebook, we have a note. That's why it's called Evernote. So we're going to go to notebooks, and we're going to create a new notebook for you all, and we're going to call it Evernote Tutorial. And we're going to make it private, and we're going to create it. and it is right here. Evernote tutorial. Do you see that right down here? Well, these are called stacks. So they're like stacks of paper, stacks of files, and this was the hardest thing for me to learn. So I'm going to tell you. We're going to go to a notebook, and we're going to call it a new notebook, and we're going to call it Evernote 2. It's private, and we're going to create it. And then we're going to make another notebook. I'm going to call it Evernote 3. It's private, and we're going to create it. If you look down here, I have Evernote 2, 3, and tutorial. Or if you look over here, I have Evernote 2, 3, and tutorial. So in order to stack them up, I used to always try to do it over here. You don't do it over here. You have to make sure you click the notebook right here. See, if you don't, you're not going to have it. But you click the notebook here, and all your notebooks show up, not the ones on the left, the ones on the right, and you just take one, all right, and you drag one on top of the other. There's 2 notebooks stacked, and I want to put that one in there as well. Evernote 3 stack, 3 notebooks, because that was called Evernote 3 because that's the last one I dragged in. We're going to change the name. I'm going to double click on that and change the name, and we're going to call it Evernote. Whoops, told you I couldn't type. We're going to call it Evernote Tutorial. We're going to call this one Sentiments. And we're going to call this one Lawn Fawn. Uh-oh, can't be. Has to be unique because I already have a sentiment, so it's going to call it Evernote Sentiments. And I didn't type that right. And then we're going to call this one, Lawn Fawn Evernote. All right, these are my stamps. So what I'm going to do now is I have some stamps that I want to add to this. And we're going to close up the dies because we don't need it. We're working on the Evernote tutorial, which is right here. See it? Right here, alphabetical order. I'm going to open that up, and it's click on this, Evernote Sentiments, Evernote Tutorial, Lawn Fawn Evernote. So what I'm going to do is I have a new stamp set right here from the stamp market, and we're going to add that to Evernote Sentiments. And we're going to click on New Note, and I'm going to type in the stamp market. If I can't type. And I'm going to put a hyphen. This is how I like to do it. And it's called hand stamped. I'm going to say it's filed in sentiments. Now, every single time you put a stamp or a die in, you could sit here and type filed in, filed in, filed in. I opted to make it easier for myself. I made a Word document, and I saved it, and I put all my filed in categories here. I'm going to highlight it. I'm going to Control-C, copy it. I'm going to Control-V for Velcro it. There it is, filed in sentiments. Now I need a picture. So I'm going to highlight this, Control-C, copy. I go to Safari. I'm going to open up a new tab, and I'm going to Velcro that, the stamp market hand stamped in there, and do a search. And I'm going to go to images, because that's what I'm looking for. I want to find an image. Well, there you go. So we've got scrapbook.com has one. Click on that. I'm going to right-click. I'm going to copy the image. I'm going to go to Evernote. I'm going to go down here, Control-V, Velcro, paste the image. There you go. Now, how does Evernote know what I'm looking for? Well, I'm going to type into stamp market. I want to hit return or comma, new note. I'm going to type in hand stamped, comma, that's a new note. And then because it's sentiments, I'm going to say it's a card with sentiment inside, because that's what it is, comma. And then I'm going to put what that says. I put a period, and I put hand stamped space by, colon, comma, and I have a period for my new sentiment. It will say send more handmade cards, comma, and let us never underestimate ESTIMATE, the power of a hand-stamped card. There we go. So that's the first one we're going to put in. The second one we're going to put in a new note, and we're going to call it Simon Says Stamp. And this one is called You Got This. So I'm going to go back to my Word document down here. It's going to pop up. This particular one is all sentiments again, so I'm going to Control-C it. I'm going to copy it and put it in sentiments. I'm going to highlight this again, Control-C, go back to Safari where I was, and go back into here, into images, and I'm going to put that in there and hit a return. You got this. So this is a Simon Says stamp. It's a CZ stamp. So here we go. This is just a little bit different. So it's a Simon Says stamp CZ. Whoa. You got this. And here we go. Here it is. So I'm going to right click it, copy image, go back to Evernote, change it. And I'm going to change this to a CZ. Now I'm going to type in Simon Says Stamp, populate because I already have it in there, SSS, return Simon Says Stamp. And then what I would do is I would type in every single sentiment that's in there. Hang in there, friend, comma, period, because it's a sentiment. You got this, comma, period, etc. I am not going to type them all in. I don't want to bore you guys with everything. Okay? Now, I have one more I want to add. I want to add Lawn Fawn, Let's Toast. So I want to go back to Microsoft Word, and I'm going to call, this is going to be a die, Control-C, Control-V, okay? And then I'm going to also say, return up matching stamp set. These are a matching stamp set. So I'm going to go to Lawn Fawn. I'm going to highlight this again, go back to Safari, and I'm going to run in images. Get this. There you go. So I want the dies. So let me type in Let's Toast dies because you can see the stamp sets and everything there. Here we go. So it's a Let's Toast pull tab die. I'm going to copy the image. I'm going to go back to Evernote. Let's Toast pull tab die. And I'm going to call this Lawn Fawn and tags. Don't forget the tags. LF is Lawn Fawn. I call it interactive because I like to know my interactive. I'm going to call it Let's Toast. And that sounds like pretty good to me. That is basically how you put in all of your tags with Evernote. Let's say that now cardstock, as an example, I did not do stacks because I just said paper tray ink cardstock, and I put all of this stuff in here. So let's just go to cardstock. I want a new note. I'm going to call it Evernote tutorial, and I'm going to type in whatever color it is, green, red, well, there you go, red, purple, Or let's say I have a new ink company and I want to add a new ink company here. I click on inks, click on the new note. It's going to be immediately under inks. Do you see how it's under inks right there? And this is a new ink company called Great Ink. And within that Great Ink, I have Robin's Egg Blue. I have purple. Whatever. You can do this any way you want. You can have under inks, and then you can have each company as a different folder. You can have stamps, and they're all different folders under here. Or I have dies, and they're all under here. I'm kind of trying to go slow so that if you want to look at how I did everything, you can. I have speech bubbles. So if I go up here to the search bar and I want to see something that says Happy Valentine's Day. Happy with a period because I want to look for a sentiment. Valentine's Day. Hit return. Every stamp set I have that's in there is going to have something to do with Valentine's Day. This one says You Valentine's Day Hugs. This one has a Happy Valentine's Day. Mama Elephant, I like you. You see it's highlighted. Happy Valentine's. Happy Valentine's. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy birthday. It doesn't just look for Happy Valentine's Day. It looks for everything that says Happy or Valentine's Day. So let's say I'm at the store and I don't know whether or not I have a Lawn Fawn Let's Toast. My computer is not behaving, so that's surely not me at this point. Let's just go a little slow here. Typed in Lawn Fawn Let's Toast. Every single thing I have with Lawn Fawn Let's Toast pulls up. So this is the one I created today. This is the one I had originally. And this is the one I have with the Let's Toast add-on. I do not know if this made any sense to you, if it's too long, too short, too crazy. I have no idea. If you have any questions, please let me know. If something did not make any sense to you, please let me know. If you like it, give me a thumbs up and don't forget to hit the subscribe and bell. And if you know anybody in the crafting community who would like to use Evernote, please forward this video on to them. And actually, it's not just for crafting. I'm thinking it'd probably be a really good way for me to inventory a lot of things in my home. The problem is do I want to take myself away from making a card to inventory my home? I probably should. Anyhow, thank you so very much for being here. I really appreciate it, and I hope it makes sense.